everyone, I am Jamie Lieberman. I'm the owner and founder of #Legal, a law firm that specializes in working with online business owners, entrepreneurs, and creators. I've created this video series talking to industry leaders about what they wish they knew before the pandemic in their businesses. They're providing us some incredible business information and wisdom that you just can't find. So I am thrilled to be able to bring that to you. Please stay tuned and you'll be able to hear our next interview.
I'm so excited today. I am here with probably one of my most favorite people, LuAnn Nigara. I've known her for a few years. She is a pinnacle in her industry, and I was so excited when you were able to take the time to come chat with me, LuAnn. So please introduce yourself and tell everybody all about who you are in your business.
Well, Jamie, thank you. And I have to throw that right back at you. You're one of my favorite people also. I have to say, I just love that you're doing this. So thank you, thank you. It's so needed. All right, so LuAnn Nigara, my primary business is Window Works. I co-own that with my husband, Vince, and our partner, Bill. It is located in Livingston, New Jersey. It's a brick and mortar business, and we specialize in custom window treatments and awnings, and we've had that business. We're in our 39th year. And then I'm also the host of the podcast, A Well-Designed Business. I'm an author of 2 books, and I'm a keynote speaker. And my podcast speaks to the interior design industry primarily, as far as how to run your business more profitably and the tools and the strategies that you need to do that. But I will say that I always say, you know, substitute bricklayer for interior designer, because business is business. So, and that's how we got connected. So I'm so excited, and I'm going to put the cat out of the bag that you're one of the co-authors in my next book. So I'm so excited for that coming out in November of 2020.
Oh my gosh, me too. So good. So much good stuff coming out.
Yeah.
We are chatting today, as everybody knows, to talk a little bit about the pandemic. And you talk to so many people. You coach, you work with designers all over the country. And so you're seeing an industry that is particularly hard hit right now. And so I really wanted to get your perspective, both you personally and what you're seeing from your clients and the people that you work with and the listeners of your podcast. So my first question is, what has been one unexpected side effect of the pandemic on both your business and designers in general?
I think that I would say I'm not 100% sure that I would say there's an unexpected effect on it, because I think it's pretty clear. Like if you're a custom window treatment provider or a kitchen designer or something, I think your brain automatically gets that it's going to be hard to do this if we're all on lockdown. Like you can't take your measurements, you can't do deliveries. Many of us have the factories that are closed that supply us with the materials. So even if you had a situation where you had the measurements on hand, maybe you can't now produce the order. So I'm not sure there's something specific to our industry that's unexpected, but I think what I have found is with the designers that I'm speaking to is what I think they need to learn that's unexpected is that not everybody and not every industry is hit by this in a gut punch way. And that there are people that either are just financially solvent or are not affected with their primary income in a negative way from the pandemic. And they're now sitting in their homes and they're looking around and saying, you know, this kitchen has never functioned for me, and now I'm cooking in it 7 nights a week. Like, I need to redesign this kitchen. And the message is that I think that my industry is having a hard time with is understanding that it's okay in a tactful, respectful way to let your potential consumers know that you're still here to do business and you can do it virtually, and not to be embarrassed to let people know, because there are people that are sitting there saying, I would love to do this now. Not everybody has kids that they're homeschooling. Not every, you know what I mean? A lot of people are just like, yeah, this is a good time. Like, we're all taking the time to work on our businesses, but some people are like, this is a good time for me to get my house in order. And so I think that's the thing. It's like trying to get the people in my industry to recognize that they have a talent and a skill set that helps people feel happy and safe in their homes. And what's more important now than that?
That is such a good point. I think that's so true. I feel like we all are almost paralyzed because of an inability to communicate and to do it. And there's so much noise. The noise is just overwhelming. And so those business owners who are able to stay the course, who are able to take the time and really think things through instead of panicking, I think are the ones that are really going to end up being able to sustain this. It's not going to be the same.
No,
but there is opportunity for sure.
That's right. And
I totally agree.
You know, for our industry, you can take a person through a project through several steps before you get to the point that you actually need to be in the home to take measurements. So even if it is a complicated kitchen design, if, you know, the potential client can take pictures, you know, you can do the conceptual drawings. You can, what kind of cabinets, what kind of hardware, what kind of surfaces, what kind of backsplash, you know what I mean? Like, do you want an island? And even with the consumer takes rough measurements, you know, you can get it can take you 2, 3, 4 weeks to get through to the point where it's like, there's nothing else to do now but measure. And maybe by then we can measure.
I was thinking that too. There's certainly things you can take to a certain point, and then you're not behind by a month.
Right. Now you hit the ground running.
Right. Yeah. That's excellent. Excellent advice. I hope everybody's listening.
The core message is not to be afraid to market your business.
Yeah.
If you expect your business to survive, you have to find a way with respect and tact and, you know, care.
Yeah.
But you've got to find a way to keep letting your potential consumers know that you are here and open for business.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. What's one lesson you wish you knew before this all happened? I mean, none of right, everybody uses the word unprecedented. I'm very tired of that word, to be honest, but it's true, I guess. So what is one thing you wish you knew before?
Well, it's funny because there's two things. The first thing occurs to me that it's not the lesson that I have in this moment, but I remember learning the lesson in the big recession of 90, 91, 92, 93. It was the absolute shock that we were in a recession, like waiting way too long to recognize it, waiting way too long saying, it'll be fine. We don't have to make this change. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. And then almost getting to the point where we lost our business. Mm-hmm. And so having that huge shock in the early 90s made it so that 9/11 was difficult and horrible, but we got through it. And 2008 was just like, yeah, we just like went right through it, because not because we were just like, oh, we know that recessions are tough, but because we learned the lessons and went through it. So it's not my lesson now, but it's the lesson if you are an entrepreneur and this is your first economic downturn since you've been in business, is to take a moment to be sad and take a moment to be shocked, but just take the moment and get up, big girl panties, do what you got to do to survive. Yes. You know what I mean? Because if you do it, you will survive. So, and then I have to say the other lesson comes from, you know, my conversation with you, Jamie, is from the standpoint of WindowWorks. What's interesting is that you highlighted for me that we are a 39-year-old company, and I have an email list of probably 4,000 or 5,000 people, and I have never regularly spoken to them. We have been so busy meeting our numbers, meeting our revenue goals, you know, collecting emails because that's what you're supposed to do. And maybe like we wake up from our business coma once every 6 months and we're like, oh, we should send them a nice email. But I'm realizing now, you know, as we're now ramping up and we've got a series of emails coming out that are like, this is how we can do business during COVID-19. And it's just hitting me that if I had been intentionally talking to them and serving them through our email system all along, they wouldn't be surprised by the emails that are coming out now. So I thank you for that little tip there.
I'm in the same boat at #legal. I mean, our whole business really, we have an email list. We talk to them occasionally, but we're so used to talking on social or me being out there meeting people in person, which is my love, your love. We love to be in person, that you realize that it is truly a like back to basics, right?
And it's funny when I coach, because when I'm coaching designers, it's usually, business people, window treatment professionals, designers that are coming up. And so they're looking for ways to build their community of consumers, right? And so we know that email is the first way to do it, right? So, but I haven't done it because I'm like, well, we have, our phone rings every day. Like, it doesn't matter. We're fine. And now I'm like, whoa.
Yep. Yeah. So it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity. We're going to take that opportunity. Expect emails from LuAnn and I.
And have them not just end when the crisis is over.
Correct.
That's the thing. It's to really have that conversation in the community. Like, I have clients, Jamie, that I have done the house. Then when that woman has had a daughter, I've done the daughter's house. And when that woman has had a granddaughter, I've done the granddaughter's window treatment. So that's the big aha. It's like, we're like, our phone rings. We've got referrals. We've more than 34,000 customers in our 39 years in business. Amazing. But boom, talk to them.
Yes, talk to them. I totally agree. Have you had any plans that have had to be changed because of this?
Yeah, I mean, look, we're doing it like any smart business owner is doing. We're doing this was the projections and this was the revenue goals based on normal.
Yeah.
And what are the models if we hit this goal, or if we hit this, if it is off by 20% or 30% or 40%. So it's, it's changes like that. And maybe, different initiatives that we were going to invest in, capital things or, renovation things like that. We're all like,
let's pause.
Break. Let's just think it through here, right? But other than that, I think it's just teaching us to that point of marketing that even brick and mortar this many years old, you know what it is more than anything? It's just that we have had such success and such a relationship, but it's been an in-person relationship with our community of consumers. And it's like, we need to shift that to this relationship, but in a meaningful, authentic way. You can't just hire somebody to do it for you. You can hire somebody, but you have to oversee it. So it sounds like you talking to your people, not just some canned emails, right?
Yes. This is my lesson, right? Because I got so busy so fast. I grew so quickly that I would just hire people, which is the way to go, but you have to have the fundamentals. And I'm going to talk more about that, but yes, I couldn't agree with you more, because it can't ever replicate. You and I in particular have fairly strong voices, so you can't replicate that without overseeing it.
Yeah, no. And what I love is, one of the great things, and I'm sure you do it too as well, is the time saver is have someone that you hire that is a reputable, either freelancer or a firm, to create the content, but then to go back and put your voice on it. See, to me, it's not staring at the blank page. You give me a document that has a message, great. Now what they do is they send it to me. They're like, okay, LuAnn it now.
Yes, I love that. That's perfect. That's the way to do it.
Right. And so, because that's how the business owner that you can get more done and still be authentic. It's like, have somebody that has the skill set, that has the industry knowledge and all of that stuff, but then don't forget to put your personal brand in the message, in the voice, because otherwise you're just wasting time and money. Because especially for businesses like ours, where our consumer really does know us personally.
Yes.
If that email doesn't sound like us, they're like, whatever.
Yeah, she didn't write that. She had no part of that. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And people can smell that. They know it. Yeah, it's really true. So what have been the resources that you've been relying on during this time?
Well, I mean, Zoom.
Yeah. Right?
Sure wish I owned stock in Zoom.
We all do.
Right. So Zoom, Facebook Lives, we're going to lean into a whole series of trying to reach our consumer through Facebook and teaching them. And we're going to do a thing where we're going to bring our designers in that we have a huge group of designers that we are fortunate enough to do their window treatments at WindowWorks. So one of our ideas is like, okay, let's bring the consumer clientele tips on interior design and bookshelf styling and coffee table styling and window treatment styling. But that's like a lot of content. And I don't have expertise in any of it other than window treatments. Yeah. And so we were like, well, how many, weeks do you think we can get out of window treatments? You know what I mean? And so then we were like, wait a minute. If we support the designers in our area and feature them and say, this is the designer from Montclair and she's going to teach us bookshelf styling. And then, so it's that sort of like those resources. It's like, it's yes. people resources yes. and tech resources, right?
Yes, I'm so with you. Community, that's been everything for me, for sure. Yeah. I love it.
Figuring out how we can help ourselves, help our consumer, and help our already loyal clients, right?
It's a win-win for everybody. And then you feel good because we all get to talk to each other. Like how much, and I don't know, I'm a massive extrovert, much like you. And so I'm feeling the pain of not having that. I miss my gym. Like it sounds so stupid, but
my restaurants.
Yes.
My bar stools. I love to sit on a bar stool with the Vincennes next to me, have dinner, talk to the bartender that we know.
Us too. Yes, I agree. So last question, and thank you so much. You are just such an incredible wealth of knowledge. What advice would you give to a new business owner who didn't live through all of those, recessions that you talked about? I mean, I lived through the 2001 and the 2008, and I remember them well. But a lot of new business owners weren't hit by those.
No. The thing is it's twofold. I think what it is first of all, there's no better time than now to get clear on, are you working in your passion? There's no better time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us are stopped from working. So is this work I really want to do? Right? Do I really want to do this? So get real. This is a moment. It's like a whole world. The brakes are on, right? Yes. So if you haven't been doing what you love, there is no reason to not figure out a way to come out of this by doing something you love. So that's number one. Number two is, if you have been so busy being busy, you must use this time to go back and put your processes and systems in place. Create your operations manual, create your employee manual, create your how do you do everything manual. Like, there's no excuse. If you open up, if this world gets turning again in 2 weeks, 2 months, or whatever, and you haven't done that, like, I have no compassion for you then. I really don't. I hate to say it. Like, I'm sorry, right? And then the last and the final thing is to understand that you have the ability to get through it. And just because you have the ability to get through it doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. And do not be surprised when you wake up one day and all you can do is feel bad or cry, like whatever level it expresses itself. Because if you have been surprised by this economic downturn and you have not prepared, you do not have your 6 months of capital, you do not have those things in place, this is legitimately, I'm sure, absolutely every bit as scary as it was for me in 91, 92, 93. And I remember that. I remember driving between appointments and crying my eyes out in the car because the pressure was so heavy, literally felt like there was like this, I couldn't breathe. And so don't be surprised if you have days and moments like that, but you can't live in them. You have to pick yourself up and you have to just say, okay, I put it on my calendar on 9:30 on Tuesday morning. I'm working on my process, and I might cry the entire time, but I'm doing it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
You got to give yourself the grace to experience it, but you cannot give yourself the grace to lay down during it. You still have to get up if you intend to survive. It's as simple as that. And many won't. That's the hard, sad truth. Many won't survive it.
Right.
So it's your decision. You really have to. And that's why I say, don't be afraid to market. You know, you're fighting for your business survival. Go for it.
Yeah, that's such incredible advice. I totally agree. It goes for everybody through this experience. My kindergartner had a day, and I looked at my husband. I'm like, he's feeling the feels. We're just going to let him. Like he needed to start. You got to have your moment.
That's it.
But then we said, we're done. It's time to go back. It's time to go back to work, and I mean, you got to do it.
So many levels of that. Like a kindergartner is in love with his teacher, loves their teachers at kindergarten, like truly loves.
Oh yeah.
And then maybe they're missing them. And then I was speaking with somebody today. Get this, has a senior in high school and a senior in college.
Oh.
So she has 2 children that are missing all of those milestones of senior year. And you cannot look at a kid and say, you know, this is bigger than you. The world is falling apart. Because that kid at 17 and at 20 is like, but these are the things I was supposed to do. And in this moment, that kid is feeling it. And in 3 years, in 5 years, in 10 years, it will be less. But that's the same thing. If you're a business owner now and you are feeling like I need to cry and this isn't fair and how come this happened and I'm going to lose my business. Yeah, have a moment in it.
Yep.
But you got to come through it. You got to it's okay to feel it is the point though.
I love it. That's such good advice. Please tell everyone where they can find you.
So easy, LuAnn, LuAnn, Nigara, Nigara. So it's 3 N's in the middle, .com, LuAnnNigara.com. And everything's there. The podcast is there. The books are there, you know, the speaking events and, well, the virtual speaking events.
All that you do. Thank you so much for taking the time. It is good to see you and good to chat with you. And I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.